everyone, we are back for another episode of Group Chat. It is a hot episode in LA because there has been some incidents that we have to discuss, and there's a heated argument with Tim, as usual.
As usual.
As usual. Tim and I got into it. Anand and Tim got into it. Jason, I don't know where he stands. We're unclear on his views.
Happy to be here.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Tim wants our kids to be mauled and attacked.
Yes. He's coming for your children. And then we talk about this recent explosion of TikTok. And that's really for Group Chat news. We've now become the #1 podcast on TikTok. It happened literally in a matter of hours. I mean, Anand saying I have to go fight someone.
Yes.
So
we're going straight from here to the gym.
So I can't fight anyone under 20 million followers. So if you're interested, holler. And then we get into the news. We talk about YouTube's dominance. And, you won't believe how much money they make on ad revenue. And so much more. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the #1 TikTok podcast in the world.
Woo! I have good news and bad news for you, D.
Okay.
You got to get fighting lessons.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Time.
Yeah,
we're so big on TikTok. You're gonna have to get in the ring.
Who should I beat up first?
I don't know. There's a long list to pick from.
You want to do clothing people?
They're not famous enough.
Okay.
If I need someone, if I'm gonna fight you,
maybe you should fight the Indian conservative guy, Sagar.
Yeah, how many followers does he have?
He's a lot.
Like 10 million.
I don't know if it's 10 million, but he's
if I'm getting in the squared circle, I need 20 million followers.
Minimum.
He only has 100,000.
Oh, yeah. I'm not fighting him. I'm going to have more than that next week.
Probably.
What we are referring to is this recent explosion of Group Chat on TikTok, which I think, are we a month old on TikTok?
Just about.
Have we crossed a month or no?
We just crossed a month since I started, yeah.
Okay, so we just crossed a month. And Jason on Thursday, I think he was telling me that we had gotten in our last 30 days, roughly 1 million views on TikTok, which I was like, wow, for the first month, I think that's a pretty good stat. I'm sure if you look at a big account, it probably has hundreds of millions of views. But I was like, okay, 1 million views.
For a new account is impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, very impressive. Then, there was a post on TikTok on Friday about our John McAfee conversation, kind of egging on people. Is it a murder or suicide?
Yeah.
Let's discuss. That video alone, I think, has how many views now?
525,000 views.
So as of Sunday afternoon.
So we doubled our view count from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you check the stats? How many impressions we've had now total?
I think it was about 1.6 to 1.7 million.
Okay. So on Thursday, we had 1 million. So we've added 700,000 new impressions. Obviously, one video drove a lot of that. And then, it's pretty interesting that how quickly in the social media era you can gain traction.
Yep.
And what's interesting is we were all around early Instagram. Early Instagram, you could build a following, but it was a fucking grind. Like it didn't happen in 30 days.
So I got to give credit to Jason, Garrett, and Jordan.
Yeah.
They are grinding.
They are grinding.
So what you're referring to early Instagram in order to build that following.
Yeah.
We have, the TikTok all-star team and Garrett, Jason, and Jordan. They're grinding out videos every day.
Yeah.
Doing clips for us.
The clips are incredible. The edits are great. It's like perfect for that medium. So
thanks,
good job, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Jason came in talking real big that he's Tom Brady, he's getting titles.
Yeah.
So you're 3-0 in the regular season.
Right.
Games.
Yeah. Gotta get to the playoffs.
Playoffs is 1 million followers.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
you get to 1 million followers, then we'll.
So what's the chip?
What's the chip?
championship?
Dee's got to be legitimately famous.
Yeah, like
E's
I'm
calling.
setting-
Like we need Dee's view on.
Gotcha.
exactly something controversial. I need to be on Entertainment Tonight.
Gotcha. Okay.
That means
Or CNN's calling. What do the group chat guys think?
What's their opinion on this?
yes,
Gotcha.
Fox News.
That's a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
People are going to tune into group chat instead of CNN or Fox News.
But what's interesting is we know in this era, and that's kind of like the magic of what's happening on this platform, which, very similar can happen on YouTube, right? Where like your content can just go viral and you can build a following. It's very, very difficult for that to happen on a lot of these other platforms. Twitter, I think, for saying something, I've had viral tweets because someone really famous has retweeted me.
Yeah.
And it's gotten crazy impressions, but I didn't really gain any followers and no one cared after that tweet ever again.
But I will say what has been accomplished with the group chat TikTok page with the help of JGJ, that's what we call the trio, is virtually impossible on any other platform today.
Yeah. Yeah, because
unless you're on a Netflix show, you're not getting Instagram followers.
No.
Unless you're, you have to have some sort of catalyst.
Someone has to push you to get the following. Only platform that it's organically happening still is on TikTok. Because now that I'm kind of paying attention to the platform, I'm meeting with a lot of people. And I meet so many people now, or people affiliated with so many people. There are so many people with massive followings on TikTok. Yeah. And they have effectively learned how to migrate the following to different platforms too. Like the guy that has 10 million followers on TikTok, or I forgot this comedian woman on TikTok I saw. I went on her Instagram and she had equally as many followers on Instagram and on YouTube. Like she's been able to channel the following whichever platform she wants. But yeah, I mean, organically, it just proves that like these guys are good.
President Xi, doing great work. You will not hear me say that. This is the capitalist in me.
John Cena, we love your work. We love your Mandarin. You did an incredible job.
Amanda told me that John Cena learned Mandarin like 10 years ago to help bring WWE to China.
Oh, so he's been on the
bandwagon forever.
Yeah.
He actually spoke Mandarin in the movie, your favorite movie, with Amy Schumer and LeBron.
Oh yeah, he did. I remember that now. That is funny. But yeah, it's fascinating. I'll tell you the one thing with so go check us out on TikTok. It's at Group Chat News.
Group Chat News.
But Jason had set a goal and said, in the first 30 days, I'd love to get 10,000 followers. And I think on Thursday when we had that discussion, I think we're at like 4,000 or 5,000 followers.
About like 5,100.
Yeah,
followers.
And I think now we're at
11,000.
11,000 followers. So, I mean, and look, followers don't equate to dollars,
right.
But what it does do is bring awareness to the podcast. So now I'm sure we have all these new listeners that are either subscribing on YouTube or downloading the podcast to listen to. So welcome to all our new listeners. And what I think the most interesting thing is that it's possible because we've been talking about TikTok for 3 years on this podcast. And we talked in length about when Dogface happened with the Fleetwood Mac song. And it was such like a big moment, not only for the platform, but just pop culture wise, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys are a part of this now. You're all listening and following on TikTok, watching what's unfolding. What's interesting is when you have a video that gets that many impressions, the comments come along with it.
Oh, yeah.
And our comments, I have to stop reading these comments. First of all, there's a lot of angry people out there. Mm-hmm. They're very, very angry. Like it feels like everyone on TikTok who comments is the Sons in 4 guy.
Right.
He's ready to
pick a fight.
Ready to pick a fight. And they want to discount everything everyone's ever done, whatever's anyone said. They just want to bring you down. It is, and I don't understand this because like I'm totally down in person to engage in conversation, a full-blown argument with anybody. I don't care. But the idea of like anonymously commenting on something and just picking fights with people,
For fun.
like even in our comments. So the first couple of videos where our got a lot of views, I commented and I was like, it got me frustrated, like, because everyone was like, "Who the fuck are these guys talking about remote work or whatever?"
Right.
I mean, I have 100 employees. I'm equipped to talk about.
It's
remote
funny,
work.
we're the boomers. We're
Yeah.
actually millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm
I'm
on the
a
cusp.
millennial.
Yeah, I'm on the cusp.
Yeah.
I could,
You can go either way.
Yeah, Kanye says he's a millennial and he's 1 year older than me.
Right.
So-
I think it's 80.
Okay, so then
So
I'm a
you might,
millennial.
it's 80 to 82 depending on the definition.
Okay,
You
so-
can find whatever that wants to fit your.
I'm happy being a boomer. I have no problem.
But boomers are parents.
A boomer, actual baby boomers are our parents.
Yeah, which
yes.
are in their
Yeah.
70s.
70s. That's like the World War II generation and, just much older. It's interesting to read these comments. And I guess I get it. When you just see something in context, it makes you want to comment and, disprove whatever that person is saying. I'm okay with that. It's just the anger. I just cannot believe that these young people, because like my only other data point is I hang out with Jason and a bunch of other Gen Zers, and they're actually much nicer and kinder people than like, say, the 21-year-olds or the 18-year-olds when we were growing up. They feel like nicer people and more open-minded and generally.
But I think that's selection bias because they're choosing to come in here. They're choosing to learn. They're choosing to work.
yeah.
So I don't want to say the blanket 21-year-old's nicer than 20 years
The blanket Jason is a piece of shit.
Probably.
Got it.
Maybe. Potentially.
So like your friends suck.
No, I love my friends.
Okay.
But
I feel like YouTube comments, like TikTok comments, are just sort of like the natural follow up to YouTube comments. Which
I guess
have been
I don't pay
brutal for
attention to.
15 years. Like YouTube comments just dismantle people in a way that puts Yelp to shame.
which is interesting because now I can see why these young social media stars have such insecurity issues.
right.
Yeah, because they've been bashed for years.
Yeah, like when you look at those comments, they're crazy. Like, obviously, we're adults and we live great lives. So when someone's saying, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're full of
it's kind
shit,"
of funny.
I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to my nice life."
I will say our group chat community is very kind.
No, our listeners, but
Yeah.
I think our listeners are sophisticated.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is when you go into
Yeah, when you have 20 million followers,
Yes.
you're going to have 100,000 people telling you you're the worst person in the world.
yes, what I don't understand is how do people comfortably do that behind the wall of like. So I'll go look at these people's profiles.
Right.
They have like an emoji as their icon. They're private. Like, so you're privately this angry? What are you publicly?
I think I saw a profile on one of them that was the username was a random profile picture and the username was just "You're mad, LOL."
Yeah.
That was literally the username. And they're just like commenting just random
Just
stuff.
probably going on everyone's page, just spewing hate.
I think it's also a reflection of what people actually feel.
Yeah.
Like most people are just like disappointed in their own circumstances and they're taking it out on public personas.
Yeah.
So when I hear like the big TikTok guys on BFFs and you can tell,
They're hurt.
I could just tell they're just like a little broken because
Yeah.
I'm sure they've been seeing comments for years. So they pretend to be tough guys. They pretend to like not like social media. They pretend to all these things, even though that's the only way that their
Yeah.
careers even exist. And I mean, I'm sure it takes a mental toll.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a mental toll on professional athletes. Like you see Kevin Durant clapping back at everyone, and he's like not that
Untouchable.
young,
And
and he's won titles. He's won an MVP. Like he's done everything.
yeah. He has nothing to prove.
Nothing to prove. And he's made hundreds of millions of dollars, and
Yeah.
he still will go back at reporters saying like, "You don't know me. You don't talk to me. You don't know me." Blah blah blah, and he does this
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yeah.
Kyrie does the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just this like this era where it doesn't matter how famous or successful you are, the comments matter.
Yeah. All comments matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. I can't even believe like the courage to write these things.
Yeah.
Like that's what I don't even get. Like there are times where I see stuff is so ridiculous but I would never think to like engage in like hatred publicly. Just as we serve a lot of ads, and I'll get notified when across brands if someone comments on an ad, because I'm curious if it's a customer service issue. I want to learn about it. The hate, you know how crazy you have to be to write hateful things on ads? On ads.
Right. It says sponsored.
Yes. It's an advertisement. And you are so angry at an ad. So does that mean when they're watching TV and they see a Wendy's ad and Wendy's comes out and says, this is the greatest hamburger ever, they're just like, fuck you, Wendy. Well, this is not the greatest hamburger. Actually, the greatest hamburger is, are you just screaming at the screen? What kind of world do we live in?
Yeah.
No, it's their online presence. Their online personality is different from their real
So
personality.
you think they fire off the comment and then go to the barbecue with their friends and just smile and laugh?
absolutely.
They're the sweetest people you've ever met. Yeah,
No way.
absolutely.
You think so?
I'm sure.
Two-Face.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're posting things pretty much anonymously. Like nobody's ever going to read that comment and associate it with you.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be mean, I think.
I really want to meet someone. If any of our listeners are the person I'm talking about, that's just one of those people spewing hate in the comments, but then in your real life, you're just completely normal. I would love to talk to you.
I think it's if you look at whenever LeBron tweets or any of the guys of those stature, you look in their comments. It's
insane.
It's literally insane.
Yeah. Or even Dave Portnoy. Go look at his comments.
Yeah.
Every time he says something,
Yeah.
it's wild shit people are saying to him. I just, now that we're obviously very famous,
That's right. You got to watch those hands. You got to get those hands ready.
Yeah. Speaking of hands, LA this past weekend saw a wave of high profile crime I cannot remember. Like I've never remembered, I was thinking of times where things like this could have happened. Like NBA All-Star weekend, everyone thought that was going to be the scary weekend in LA. Nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an amazing, energetic, fun, safe weekend. This weekend, and it started really early in the week, things were just been happening and building up. I think a lot of our listeners, because I got messaged by a lot of listeners, saw a TMZ article with Richard from Fashion Nova, who was involved in some sort of, looks like someone was trying to rob him, his neighborhood, his street. I don't know. But it ended with, I think the people that were chasing him got shot.
One person died.
And it's unclear. I called Rich and then I said, are you okay? And he's like, I was in my house. I'm completely safe.
And it sounds like the armed guard who shot the intruder is in fatal condition as well.
Got it. So I don't know what the hell happened there. So that's one crazy thing that happened.
And to put it in context, these are some of the most expensive homes in Los Angeles.
Yes. We're talking north of 20, 30, I'm sure even $50 million.
Like the streets were identified in TMZ. It's famously known as the Bird Streets.
Yeah. It's not a place where this shit happens.
Correct.
And it's mile and a half from where I live, or mile and a half kind of from where you live as well. So not uncommon to have robberies in the hills. It happens in LA. It's just
a shootout is very uncommon.
Yes, very uncommon. Then KCP, who's one of the players on the Lakers, he got robbed.
Yep.
At gunpoint.
At his own house. In the driveway.
With a lot of jewelry. I don't think
they said $150,000 worth of
watches,
accessories were stolen.
Which literally could be one watch.
Sure. The way watches are being sold.
Yeah.
And he makes $20 million a year, I think.
There you go. $20 million a year guy. And then we saw on Instagram someone at the valet at Boa, which is on Sunset.
Right where our live show was.
Yes. Is it Boa? For those that don't know, it's kind of like a high-end steakhouse in LA.
Which is a scene. A lot of celebs, a lot of influencers.
Wealthy people, yeah.
The TikTokers all have been going to Boa during the pandemic.
Yeah, so it's like a Mastro's, if you're familiar with that. So it's a high-end restaurant. It's literally where the Beverly Hills sign is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Boa is. and two guys wearing ski masks apparently were skipping and pulled a gun and robbed someone at valet. This is kind of wild because this is all happening. I don't know where KCP lives.
It says, I think, West Hollywood. I'm not positive. I'll look this up.
So it's all happening in the nicest parts of town. And we're in this midst of like, the summer is out. People are out and about. Tourism, domestic tourism in LA is obviously very busy. There's award shows happening. Things are happening in the city. And, we're talking about, I'm sure the person at BOA probably had a nice watch, nice car, all those types of things. KCP is a wealthy guy, rich and fashionable, wealthy guy. It's really fucking scary what's happening in LA. And I know that this has been happening in New York City as well, because it's all types of crime have seen a rise. So I think like, I don't know what to make of it other than I don't know how the city reacts to it, given last summer we were protesting against the police.
Right. So I think there's two things we need to discuss. Firstly, the anti-crime pro-police movement is here.
Yeah.
So very different than 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Where everyone thought the police was the enemy.
Yeah.
Because if you look in New York, Eric Adams, who is likely going to be the mayor of New York City, Democrat, former NYPD officer, is pro enhancing police anti-crime.
Yeah.
And he's a black guy. And he won with, I think, like very little social media following, but his message resonated.
Yeah.
And in all the conversations that we have privately with all of our friends, Democrats, Republicans, anyone, it's a clear problem.
I mean, all I get...
Everyone wants more law and order.
Yes. Literally, I have not spoken to one person, and we're in a bubble. We're fully aware of that. We're friends with well-to-do people. A lot of them have children, and safety is our number one concern.
And it's the same people. We all were at the protests.
Yeah.
We were all pro the movement of
police reform.
Police reform and social injustice. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Than what's going on now.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just everyone is afraid. Everyone I talk to in LA, doesn't matter, what race, doesn't matter what political affiliation. Yeah. It's clear LA is generally significantly more unsafe than it was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real problem. And then the second part of the conversation is it just that they really don't believe they're going to get prosecuted? Or is it this just systemic in terms of inequality where all these people just feel they have nothing to lose? That's where I kind of struggle. Like, is this just a product of compounding inequality that you have this group of people that are like, fuck it, I'll take a gun and shoot someone and steal them if it comes to it because my alternative is nothing. And that, I think, everyone because I think I made a comment like, don't wear nice stuff, you're going to get robbed, or don't drive fancy cars, you're going to get robbed. Don't wear a $100,000 watch. And then a comment was like, oh, you're coping. And I think funding the police and putting more police officers on the street is also coping because we're not actually solving the fundamental problem, which is you have a group of people that literally are willing to lose it all.
Yeah, so the problem is on the inequality side.
We got some snaps from our guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, here's the problem, and this is why I agree with that argument, but I don't think the citizens of LA can handle one more day like this, right? So how do you do both? And here's the thing. I think the first step is we have to figure out how to stop the crime. Yeah. Otherwise, what it's going to do is going to actually anger citizens to a point where it's going to be like freaking heavy police. Because there's a point where older people or people with families or people that have done well, they're like, I don't have to deal with this shit. I don't give a fuck about inequality. I don't want to walk out and feel like I'm going to die. If we get to that point, then there's no one's going to solve the systemic problems, right? So I think the first step is like the city officials really need to engage the police department on a real solution, on like they need to message to the city, how are we going to protect our citizens going forward? Because to say you can't have a nice watch, you can't have a nice car. I mean, all these people have killed themselves their whole life to get to that point. Yeah. And now we're asking them not to, which I get it. Like, this is like Gotham City right now, right? This is where the Dark Knight comes and saves the day. But we know there's no Batman who's going to clean up the city. It is what it is now. And like, we have to figure out a real solution. And there was a time when LA and New York had high crime, and then it went away. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. I was too young to realize those things at that time. 90s. That was the 90s. And so something happened that changed all that crime to go away. And I'm sure it's a lot of stuff that we don't want to hear about.
Yeah,
it's mass incarceration.
It's mass incarceration, just like, and you're going to have casualties of this kind of reform where people will go to jail that don't deserve to go to jail.
Yeah. So that's the problem.
It's so tricky because I know everyone in LA wants to just throw the blame at Gascon.
Yeah.
It's like the blanket conversation. Gascon.
Yeah, you got a parking ticket, you blame Gascon.
Right. Gascon's efforts and the DA's efforts are for petty stuff. When you fire a weapon, that's no longer petty.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to bring a gun and rob someone and you get caught, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
This isn't walking out of Walgreens with $500 and it's under $1,000. They can't prosecute you, or being homeless. Like, that is where it gets a lot trickier, because I actually genuinely don't believe people are willing to have armed robbery at the nicest places in LA thinking there's zero consequence.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
I think they're just like, fuck it. Who cares? Let's go for it.
Yeah, and I don't. So, is it a function of inequality? Is it a function of anger? Is it a function of like? Sure, there's underlying inequality issues. Everyone agrees with that. We know that, but there's been inequality issues, and these are things that we've been talking about at the beginning of the pandemic, and then a year goes by, and it was the largest wealth creation in a fucking American history, and obviously, we know a lot of people were left behind.
Yep.
And on top of that, there was a lot of government aid given out, like more so. And everyone we keep talking STEMI. It's not STEMI. It's unemployment insurance. Yep. That's where a lot of money went out, not just stimulus checks. Because stimulus checks was whatever, 2 or 3 that went out all year. And so a lot of aid went out. Is it also a function of like, we're in this part of, when you think about LA and New York, and there are this like signs of wealth everywhere, and that maybe just angers people to a level of be like, you know what? Fuck these guys with all their money. And
the reality is someone just actually needs to interview some of these guys that get caught. Like, I didn't think I was going to get caught. Yeah. If I heard that, then I'd be like, great. We know a solution of like what we need to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a candid conversational podcast. He goes, Joe, come here for a second.
You just robbed 3 people at Boa.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So like, what was your thought process when
Walk
you
me
thought
through the play.
Why'd you pick Boa? Like, why? I mean,
I really want to do people genuinely believe if the actual consensus is they're like, I'm not going to get caught and they're not going to prosecute me.
Yeah.
I get it. But I think that's for lower crimes, and that's also a problem.
Yeah, that's like the person stealing something at Walgreens.
Yes.
That is a Gascon issue.
That is Gascon.
Yeah.
You can go to CVS, steal whatever you want, and no one's going to jail.
Yeah. That's
Gascon.
Kind of, yeah. But I think on what's happening just in the city the last couple of days, it's gonna change people's mood in a way politically that is not going to be good for the country. And that's where I think, if you're a liberal person, you need to figure out a message. If you're a liberal politician, if you want to get ahead of this, you need to figure out how to keep your citizens safe and make that your central message. Because if citizens if you're sitting there talking about taxes and education, but you're afraid to leave your house, you lost 100%. I guarantee you, whoever the person running for mayor next in LA, it is 100% going to be crime.
Yeah, and you'll win.
You win.
I mean, we know we have friends that live in like $2-3 million houses that are afraid to take their kids out on a walk.
Yeah.
Imagine you spend $2 to $3 million on a house.
Yeah.
And you can't go on a walk.
It's crazy.
I disagree. I don't think it's going to be law and order. I think this is more evidence that we need police reform. It's like, look, the system, it's not working. You know, like I think that angle.
Okay, give me an example of what police reform would stop people from robbing people.
But I don't have the answers. Like I'm not. But if a politician ran on the campaign with the answers, I think that they would be successful, as opposed to a politician that just says more cops, flood the streets with cops.
Yeah, but here's the problem with police reform is about how the cops handle the situation, right. How they prosecute people who potentially have not committed a crime, all of those things.
The system of what they're paid for, the system of like, you know, because there's all this incentive for cops to write tickets at the end of the month, you know, things like changing that system.
But that doesn't stop people from robbing.
There's short-term and long-term solutions. Yeah. The short-term solution, unfortunately, is more enforcement.
Yeah.
The long-term solution is actually reform.
Yeah. But I think that short-term solution has been happening since long before Clinton, right? I mean, that Clinton's sort of the change in the Democrats, where it started becoming more like, let's focus on law and order. Let's focus on, because you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people who weren't scared before who are scared now. But I think the people who are doing the robbing have been scared of the police and of the society they live in for a long time, and that hasn't changed in any way, shape, or form with the increase in robberies and the increase in violence here.
But there's an increased number of people that are willing to go to places that they never would have gone to rob.
Yeah. But I think that's a product of that short-term solution happening over and over and over again. And nobody's saying,
so I have the guts to do the long term. So you're saying burn it to the ground?
No, I'm saying reform this, like literally reform the police.
Like this isn't a police issue in this exact, like why high-profile people in LA are getting robbed is not a police issue.
No, but like clearly the police aren't doing enough to stand in the way of it. So we need to find a way to make that an effective system. I'm a socialist. I love the police. I love the idea of like having a governed society that functions.
Yeah.
But the issue is it's not functioning.
Yeah, but the problem I have is there's just a sentiment among people that it's okay to do this right now. They weren't doing this a few years ago in Los Angeles. I cannot speak for every other city, but
I mean, in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, these actions were unimaginable.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 5 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago. 18 months ago.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I feel like I mean, I haven't been in LA long, but I've seen like Rodney King riot documentaries and like what LA was like in the 90s. I feel like there have always been periods like this where the violence has been insane.
Those
are not in the good neighborhoods.
These are the nicest neighborhoods. You're talking $20-30 million homes and there's shootouts.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Maybe finally people who are
just get the robbers are getting smarter. Why are we
realized that they're not
hood?
being pitted against the system. The people have been pitting them against each other for all these years, and they're like, no, you know who's actually pulling the strings here?
I don't believe it's that sophisticated of a conversation.
No, I think
but it's probably as simple as like
where do all the nice
I got
watches
screwed over at the beginning of the pandemic, and there was an unemployment and stimulus that helped me survive, but now that's out. And some people have became, extraordinary pandemic profiteers. Shake the angry finger at them. Like, man, how this isn't fair. And I think there's a valid point in there. And I think that might be the less sophisticated reasoning.
But
I think the less sophisticated reasoning is it's not even that, because what you're talking about is an ideological thing. I think it's a product of just social media get rich quick.
Yeah.
Rather than like go acquire a skill and earn more money and figure out a lane to make money. You see, oh, there's a guy with a Richard Mille. Let me just go rob that, and I have $500,000.
Yeah.
I think it's that simple.
I think it's subconsciously ideological. Like they don't really realize it, but like everything that's him saying is like what's leading to those actions. They just don't realize it. They're just like think of it like, oh, just quick money, quick this, whatever.
So,
they don't put thought into it.
Because in the
here's
era
the challenge
like,
for your guys' generation.
Yeah.
Because this is all about politics and power.
Right.
Someone's going to run. for mayor, someone's going to run for governor, someone's going to run for president.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come in and say, who votes? You guys don't vote. Your age group just doesn't vote. It's old people that vote. Oh, they're going to come in and say, I'm going to clean these fucking streets up.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to resonate with the voting bloc.
It'll be sweep. I can tell you, if on either side, Republican or Democrat, whoever runs on a pro clean up the streets, pro let's figure out crime, is going to win. And if you don't have that message, you're going to lose everyone.
And then what happens, and all the other amazing things that are happening right now with Joe Biden as president are gone.
Yeah.
They're fucking gone.
Yeah.
We'll never get a clean green bill. We'll never get those things that we want for progress. And that's the thing. Like, politics is about sacrifice. It's like running a business. You sacrifice things every single day to get something else you want. And in this case, like, this crime thing is kind of getting out of control in the big cities. And unfortunately, politics is funded with big money. And big money is going to be like, I want my street safe. Yeah. And then you will appeal to everyone that has a child when you say safety. Yeah. Straight up. And that's who's going to go vote. And it's not going to be the 21-year-olds that get the next president elected. It's going to be a bunch of old people, because we're going to be like, boomers are going to be like, I want my street safe. And then we're going to pick literally based on that. And then all these great potential policies that can happen that will actually benefit our society and children or get thrown to waste. That's why we as liberal people are trying to like wake people up and be like, pay attention to this. Let's solve this fucking problem so that we can go back on the good track we were going as a country.
Yeah. No, but we weren't even going on a good track. We just kept doing short-term solutions, and calling for another short-term solution isn't creating that future that we want. I think to be a liberal person in this environment, the route you need to go is you need to say, look at what the police are doing. This is a broken system. It needs to be rethought. It needs to be restructured. They're failing you. Yeah. You know, I think that's the route you need to, instead of just saying like law and order.
So here's the problem is, as a parent, I don't have fucking time for change. Straight up. I don't. If my kids are not fucking safe.
That's your generation to do that, Tim.
That's when you have children.
Here we go.
When I walk outside my house with my child holding his hand, if I feel he is in danger, I don't give a fuck about reform. Straight up. Mm-hmm. I don't. It's about my child's safety.
Or your own safety.
Yeah. And I'm thinking through the lens of my child more so than even me. Is like, all I care about is my kids being safe and healthy and good people. Like, if I can't provide that for them, then shit, my decision-making ability goes out the window. And I'm like, fuck it, law and order. Yeah. If it helps my kid go to school safe.
It's gotten so bad that we tell our friends who have nice cars and watches, like, you're a target.
Yeah.
Like, you want to, and it's also sad because they earn their money and they can't like have nice things because you'll get robbed at BOA.
Yeah. And look, I'm with you, Tim, and I understand what the actual solution is. We got to also, your side also has to come to the plate with a near-term solution.
Yeah, well, I think there is a near-term solution in reforming the police. I think the person who's able to navigate that platform successfully was the person that.
The problem is,
what's the near-term solution?
I don't have it, but I know that that is an alternative direction to law and order. You know, let's.
But if you don't have the solution, you can't say that.
Well, I'm not running.
No, but you don't have an idea.
I don't think it's that easy. Is the point?
I don't think you have an idea even.
I'm not running.
I'm not saying you're running, but you're saying that our near-term solution, which is like keep the streets safe, is wrong.
Well, I'm just saying that there is a way to keep the streets safe without saying let's just, reinforce the system that was happening before because that was working. Because
but if you don't have an alternative, I don't think it's a valid argument.
The voting base in general doesn't believe that it was working.
So then it's going to triple down on what we're saying is everyone just going to say, fuck it, let's triple down on the old system because we can't even go to a nice restaurant.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why we'll lose momentum on all the positive things that are happening in society right now, and especially in government. Like, there are good things this administration is doing to help the future of this country. But okay, look, Joe Biden's an old man, and if he were to run again, he's going to be tough on crime. He gets it. He knows that. Yeah. But whoever the young person...
Eric Adams went head-to-head with AOC and mopped the floor with everyone.
Yeah.
And AOC is like the poster child for this like reform.
Yeah.
And Eric Adams is a Democrat and a black Democrat in New York City, in a Democratic city.
Yeah. No, but that's my point, is that like...
My point is the other side has lost the left.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be tough. The crime thing has swung the pendulum in a way that like we didn't see it coming.
Yep.
We thought it was about money, and we thought it was about getting people back to work, which everyone who wants a job can get a job. Everyone, you can complain if you don't like your job, or you don't like remote work, or you like work, or whatever it is. But there are opportunities out there for working people, and we're out of this pandemic. We're coming out of it. And so now all of a sudden this like hidden problem came out of nowhere, which I didn't expect this to be the issue.
Yeah. And we got a text unconfirmed that there was a stabbing at the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's insane.
Yeah. That is crazy. People also just might be losing it coming off the pandemic.
That's also true.
Yeah.
It might not even have to do with anything other than like, you see these comments in TikTok. These people are
And you see
off.
you see the sports stands. There's a fight every game.
Yeah, there's a fight in airplanes.
Yeah.
It's all the people working from home. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Honestly, I was actually thinking that. I was like, this seems like the work from home crowd. They're so angry because they haven't gone outside in a while. But yeah, I mean, look, if everyone that lives in these big cities, stay safe, stay vigilant. Like, obviously, like, you know where you're walking around, you know what you're doing.
And, you know, it doesn't seem like it compared to Tim, but Dee and I are liberal people.
Yeah.
We're progressives.
Yeah. Not in his eyes.
Not in his eyes, but in
His eyes were communist.
no, in his eyes, we're MAGA.
Yeah.
No, in
QAnon.
my eyes, you're center. You're the left is shifted center, and you're center. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not insulted by it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I think my view is I'm very practical. I obviously, when it comes to like things like abortion and gun rights, I mean, like, those things are a waste of my time to sit and
Same
argue.
with LGBTQ.
Yeah, all that stuff.
We're all
Yeah.
pro the right side of all of those.
Yes, exactly.
Not the right side, the correct side.
correct side. But yeah, I mean, like,
Rights, social rights, equality, all of that. But hey, if you're getting robbed
yeah,
going to a dinner.
it's all bets off. That's the problem. And I don't want to live in that type of city.
Wonder how
And I'm not leaving.
Wonder how Texas crime is doing now that everybody's got a gun over there.
I'm sure crime is high there too.
Crime's high everywhere. Crime's high in Miami. People just don't talk about it. Crime's high in New York.
Yeah.
San Francisco, we obviously know.
Yeah.
That's where my original kind of rant was about the systemic problem more than the Gascon problem.
Yeah. If anyone has a great solution, send us to us.
Please.
We'd love to discuss it. I would say we are ill-informed when it comes to the police.
I wouldn't say ill-informed. I just don't.
Or
think- we just don't have a solution.
Yeah, okay.
Other than the obvious one is put more cops out there because
yeah,
everyone's-
exactly. Our solution is just like, put a cop car in every corner. People stop robbing each other.
Yeah, I mean, in Beverly Hills, everyone has private security now.
Yeah.
Because they don't even trust
Yeah.
the police to.
Yeah,
get there
I've heard of services. People are telling me like a few $100 a month. They come guaranteed within 90 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to.
It sounds like the police are so broken that people are using capitalism to create a more effective system.
Yeah,
So, sounds like the police
that-
reform's already happening.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But that's private security is not available to all of society.
Yeah.
So all what's gonna happen is the nicer neighborhoods are gonna have cars on every corner with trained Mossad. That are sitting
Eventually,
there.
they'll just have a wall between the rich and the poor.
Yeah, it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just keep plugging the short term.
Yeah, I mean, look, mine
We
is
get a big wall.
mine
That's
is
how in Colombia, Cartagena,
yeah.
there's walls.
It's a walled
Yep.
city.
Walled city.
Oh,
If you stay within the walls, they said it's safe. You go outside the walls, it's probably not safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens all over the world.
We're just disintegrating into a third world country.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
On that note of hope.
on that note, we have to first disprove a conspiracy that's going around. It's really going around on our TikTok because we posted a video talking about the horrific, unfortunate, very sad incident that's happening in Miami with the collapse of the condo building. And what I've there was a rumor that started going around, which I started seeing in our comments, that John McAfee owned a unit in here with all his personal files, and that he had tweeted from this. It said this address. It's all bullshit, right? The Associated Press has debunked all of those conspiracy theories and have the tweets are all deleted, or they were never there in the first place. And so proving that this is not the case. But this is the scary thing about the internet.
Because guess what? The people that initially saw that are not seeing the follow-up that it's not true.
Yes.
So now you're going to have a group of people that are going around telling tons of other people that this is all a conspiracy to destroy evidence that didn't exist about John McAfee and the people he knew.
And I think here's the problem is, even when you tell people that this has been debunked, and he goes, of course, it's a cover-up.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter now.
This is the byproduct of Epstein.
Yeah.
Now
anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. And people
it's scary.
I saw a tweet today. A pastor, seemed like in the South, hundreds of people, congregation, screaming and yelling how the underground tunnel where the insurrection happened is where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are sex trafficking kids.
Oh my God.
And everyone was cheering.
There was
Oprah Winfrey and Tom Hanks are part of this whole conspiracy.
I read an article of, there's this enormous challenge among pastors in the South that are trying to debunk all these QAnon conspiracies.
Because QAnon's so hot in the churches.
Yes, QAnon and the churches are hot.
Yeah.
Because obviously the church doesn't like pedophilia.
No, it's not only that. If you're going to, a lot of these churches are in places where they actually were left behind.
Yeah.
So you need someone to get angry at.
Yeah.
And the pastor's just capitalizing on, how do I keep these people engaged?
Yeah.
Show them an enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, the article I read was actually quite scary of how
15%, according to Axios, QAnon of the country.
I mean, after McAfee,
Couple
doubled.
Points. You think double?
I mean, McAfee committing suicide seems off.
Yes.
Right. So if you believe that he had a unit in the building, this
it's also scary because anyone that's struggling, it's easy to, rather than, I think drama always says this, look at yourself and figure out how to change your own circumstances. It's way easier to just believe a conspiracy theory and say that's why you're not working.
Yeah. It's crazy. Wild stuff.
And that building, let's not take light on that. There's 156 people still unaccounted for. And now they're saying because Miami is actually sinking, that the building structure, the foundation was off, which if part of the foundation is sinking and part of it's on land, it fed into a full crumble. And then they were saying in 2018,
the pool was leaking.
The pool was leaking in concrete. This is a catastrophe. And I don't think the mainstream media is covering it.
I just can't believe how fast it fell.
Yeah.
That it looked planned the way it fell that fast.
And not to be doomsday, but 156 people unaccounted for since Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
And, I went through the list of all the people missing. There's a lot of really old people that live there.
Right.
I mean, you can't last 5 days.
No water.
It's ridiculous.
Crushed under rubble. And then there was a fire that stopped the rescue. Sad. Very sad.
It is. It's really, really sad. And, I think...
Makes you kind of question when you go to Miami where to stay. If this is a foundation structural problem on the beach.
I'm sure now they're going to...
I mean, that's the whole area. If the actual issue is that the Miami's sinking, Miami is going to be underwater in the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. So as it accelerates, don't stay on the water, I guess.
Well, I guess go 2 miles back and you'll eventually have a beach house. But I think, how the unaccounted people, what I don't understand is I guess it's so much rubble. You can't just physically find people. It's going to take weeks.
Yep. I don't know.
Very sad. Fresh off of our Soho House big event, we had our friend Ian from Ledger, and he actually handed me another one of these Ledger Nano S. And they have a special right now. If you head on over to their website at ledger.com, for $69, you can get your first Ledger. Plus, they'll give you $25 to make your first crypto purchase.
So Ledger is a safe, secure way to store your crypto for people that don't know. And there's a lot of exchanges that get hacked all the time. So Ledger is a solution where it's cold storage and you're safe and secure.
It is a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet is a cryptocurrency wallet which stores the user's private keys in a secure hardware device. The main principle behind the hardware wallets is to provide full isolation between the private keys and your easy-to-hack computer or smartphone. We've all read those scary stories of people getting hacked, losing their crypto, and given the value of some people's cryptos these days, the same way you would get a safe for your home, for your money, this is your digital safe.
In South Africa, two brothers have an exchange and just stole $3.6 billion of Bitcoin and disappeared.
Wow.
There you go.
That's scary. Go cop a Ledger. All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, moving on to something a little bit lighter, YouTube. So we talk about this all the time. When is the TV money leaving TV and going to more digital? It looks like it's already gone to YouTube. YouTube looks like it's sucked up a lot of TV money. Last year, reported ad revenue for YouTube, $20 billion. Okay, just YouTube. If you guys remember, Google bought YouTube in 2005 for $1.65 billion.
That was their Instagram purchase.
Yes.
Meaning Facebook capitalized so much off owning Instagram. Google did the same with YouTube.
And YouTube revenue in 2020 was up 31% during the pandemic. And here's another thing. So the Super Bowl last year had 96 million people tune into the game. In this article with Fortune magazine that kind of really dives into YouTube's business, they're talking about Vlad and Nikki Vashkedov, probably Russian. And it's the two of them, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old playing toys. That's it. Cumulatively, the boys' 3 most popular videos of the month amassed more than 170 million views.
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, looks like TV advertisers are clearly, because $20 billion is not direct-to-consumer brands. When you go on YouTube, I get car ads, I get insurance,
Yep.
I get a lot of those things. Does that mean, like, we're talking about, so here you go. In 2012, 101 million households had pay TV, cable, all these things. Last year was 76 million. By 2025, they're expected to shrink to less than half that. This money is mainly going to go to YouTube.
YouTube.
The TV money, because of the type of content, right? Like a 15-second commercial, 30-second commercial. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, it's a different ad form. So they're going to get a lot of it too. But the traditional, like, I want a TV commercial.
20-second
Yes.
Chevy commercial.
Those still work, right? Clearly, at least. Otherwise, these people are wasting money.
I think they think it works.
So does it work on YouTube?
So I don't consume much YouTube. Do you guys?
I do, yeah.
So instead of watching, like, turning on the TV when you get home, do you just start rifling through YouTube? And you put it
I've
on
done
your
that
TV?
since I was little, yeah.
Do you
Yes,
put it on
as
your
a
TV
kid.
screen or is it mobile?
I put it on my laptop, usually. Watch it on my laptop.
It depends where I'm at. If I'm in bed, I'll do it on my phone. If I'm not, then I'll just do it on my laptop, or just depending on the situation.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's also interesting to know, like insiders say, it's all deep mind. that accelerated YouTube's growth. DeepMind is a AI company that Google bought for $400 million, I think about 7 years ago. And they perfected the algorithm to basically feed you the next video that you're most likely to be interested in. They've extracted tens of billions of dollars in revenue. So that was another incredible acquisition by Google.
The other thing is like looking at 81% of Americans use YouTube. And this was a study in April. 69% use Facebook.
Okay.
So it's pretty big.
I was also thinking, like, now that we're TikTok stars, I've been on the app a lot in the last couple weeks.
Yep.
I don't see how a young person would turn on the television.
Yeah.
Between TikTok, YouTube, Instagram.
It's way better content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's surfing channels?
I mean, nobody.
I don't know anybody.
And you can't sell short the music aspect of YouTube. I mean,
Right.
that is, my friends in music business have told me that YouTube ads are the most successful. Like, putting money behind YouTube ads makes a lot more sense than putting money behind TikTok ads when you're trying to push music. And it's like the top platform for music, for listening to music last year by like a significant margin.
The really interesting thing here is the top 10 advertisers on YouTube the past 12 months. Number one is Disney, $200 million. Apple, $184 million. Hulu is number 3.
They're advertising on YouTube.
Yes, $125 million. And there's Procter & Gamble, $125 million. Riot Games, they're spending $111 million on YouTube.
Shout out
Riot
to the
Games.
Becks.
Yeah, shout out to the Becks. Do you know how rich you have to be to spend $111 million just on YouTube?
So Riot Games is started by our friends from USC. So
Yeah.
it's big USC.
Yeah, I
Win.
mean, and they're one of the top advertisers.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense. Like, that probably works really well for them.
yeah, and what's interesting is, like, if I'm a big advertiser and I see Riot Games, which is one of the largest the largest video game in the world, behind either Fortnite or them, I would assume.
Yeah.
$111 million. If I'm in anything trying to target whoever their core demo is, which I guess
Like every young person.
every young male probably, you should be spending money
Like
on
Mountain
YouTube.
Dew should be spending $100 million on
Yes.
YouTube.
Like, it's all Liberty Mutual, Amazon, Expedia, HBO, Verizon. All like best in class companies clearly understand.
What I was realizing on TikTok, even the ads are better.
Yeah.
Like, I even watch the ads.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
they're
it's-
cut for the platform.
They're entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I think there was another stat here that I thought was really interesting, of how many, the percentage, let me see if I can find it. The percentage of people that watch YouTube on television, like on their television, which I think was actually quite interesting. And I think the other part is going back to Vlad and
The kids playing with toys.
Vlad and Nikki. So industry people say, this is according to this article, that they earn somewhere between $30 to $50 million a year in YouTube ad revenue. And YouTube's advertising program allows them typically get a 55% cut of the ad revenue they generate. So think about it. You're incentivized in this new world to go create the best possible content because you get to eat, right?
Yep.
Instagram doesn't let you eat. Facebook doesn't let you eat. Twitter doesn't let you eat. TikTok doesn't let you eat.
I saw Chamath break down on their podcast, like, this is the biggest ARB of all time, YouTube. So they're going to outlay over the next 10 to 15 years, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to content creators in their ad split.
Yeah.
And they're going to cash flow trillions and trillions of dollars. So
Yeah.
this is like the obvious ARB on
Yeah.
all these content creators.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know if that's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. It's just interesting that
No, I think it's fun because for the creator, they can never make this kind of money.
Right, exactly.
It was never available to them.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fault YouTube for creating an incredible business model.
Yeah, but I just thought it was framed in you don't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Because everyone just thinks like, oh my God, amazing for creators. Like, well, they're making trillions.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
make your billions.
I mean, 20 billion in a year of revenue. It's freaking nuts. nuts. I mean, we need to
Jason,
figure out
you want a
YouTube.
Super Bowl.
Jason.
You want that second Super Bowl? Get us billions.
Yeah.
I'll try.
I don't know if we're gonna have a lot of fame, and maybe I'll get a fight or two out of it, but I don't think I'm gonna make any money being famous on TikTok.
I think the easiest conversion from TikTok is to YouTube.
Okay.
So there could be some potential there.
Okay. Are our subscribers up?
There are a couple hundred since I got here.
Thousands.
Yeah, we need millions.
Yeah. 1 million YouTube subscribers, I know, is worth a lot of money.
Right.
You know, versus 1 million followers on TikTok versus 1 million followers on Instagram.
Right.
You want that golden play button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need that plaque so I can take a picture.
Put it right there on the wall.
I mean, we could just fake the whole thing.
Hey guys, we just hit a million
we have
subscribers.
a freaking Harvard flag here. Why not add that flag? All right. Last topic here. Nike. Nike reported earnings last week, and the shares have skyrocketed to an all-time high of, ready for this, worth $243 billion. Stock trading $154. Holy shit, Nike. So we give the new CEO, who's from ServiceNow, a SaaS guy, a lot of shit. Because we're like, what does a SaaS guy know? They're losing celebrities left and right. It doesn't matter. Nike is Nike.
Yeah, I think it's TBD on SaaS guy, because this is just the momentum of an incredible brand, explosion in consumption. And I don't know how much the SaaS guy gets credit for this, but yeah, Nike's on absolute fire.
I mean, they are targeting for 2022 to surpass $50 billion in revenue. It's just insane. And you know, a lot of it is driven by their direct-to-consumer business. Obviously, I'm sure it was on fire the last 12 months. It's also interesting to see, like, the brand, it's almost like a great artist. So if you're a great artist and you put out like the seminal record of your generation, you'll make money for the rest of your life. Nike has so much heritage that even if we feel like they're fumbling in the last 12 months, it doesn't matter. They have the distribution, they have the fan base. I mean, it's kind of impossible to dethrone Nike at this point. Like I thought some of these other brands would eventually like nip at them in a certain way. They just can't. Right. Even looking at how impressive Lululemon is and how big that business, or even in obviously it's more of a bubble brand, like Alo Yoga has made such a big presence in
Alo's big on TikTok.
They're incredible marketing, and like, but then Nike just who's not doing well.
I think the pie just got bigger.
Of athleisure?
Yes. So everyone's winning.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who in their current work is required to wear slacks and a button up? Like, unless you work in a law firm or a bank, that's not required outfit. And you work anywhere else, you can wear a Lululemon, like, zip up.
Yeah.
Or a Nike half zip, Nike jacket, Nike sweatshirt. So I think it's a product of what is required as acceptable attire across all professions has just changed. So the pie has just gotten way bigger.
Yeah, and I think, so I definitely agree with that. And very similar. Here's the interesting thing. Like, we always, especially in fashion, people always like to make fun of the big brands. Like, they're slow and they don't do things quick and they're not on TikTok, or they don't do the cool things all the time. And then this past week, I saw Nike team up with Louis Vuitton to drop Air Force Ones that are going to come out, right? So those shoes, I kind of made fun of on my Instagram, because as someone that sold clothes for the last 20 years, I spent an enormous amount of time in Harlem and Brooklyn selling retailers. I used to carry 2 suitcases that were 50 pounds each, lug them up and down subways on 125th Street in Harlem. And I would see so many street vendors selling Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones. Obviously, they were fake or bootleg, whatever you want to call it. And so much of that culture has been around for so long. And to see that happen, I thought was very cool. Now, what I expect from Virgil is to include the streets. Like, I want this dropped. It should be dropped on Canal Street.
Right. In the bootleg area.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. Like, it needs to embrace where it came from.
That's the whole Chinatown streetwear brand, right?
Exactly. And I think in this case, it's so clearly it needs to come from that. But look, that's going to be the biggest shoe in the freaking world. Then, so I see that happen. And then, so that's Louis Vuitton. Dior launches a collaboration with Travis Scott. I mean...
Did you see the crowds he had?
Where was he?
I think it was in Paris.
He's in Paris, yeah.
Like, people were just mobbing him.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And
like, people broke the barriers to start, and he had to start running away.
He, to me, is like the only rock star out right now. He's a rock star.
Yeah. The way people were reacting in the clips, you saw those clips, right, Jason?
Yeah, they was going crazy. It was like insane.
It just feels like it's Travis Scott and there's just a bunch of other people. And maybe Olivia Rodrigo. That's like, she has the shot to be a Travis Scott.
I feel like Bieber could still pull it.
But you have to understand what Travis Scott, I think creatively is embraced very different than Justin Bieber is.
Travis Scott's fans are cultish.
Yeah, but Travis Scott has a creative respect from musicians and creatives that I don't feel a lot of musicians get, where Travis is considered like a creative genius. And I mean, just doing the Dior Cactus Jack. I mean, when I saw that, what a week for LVMH.
Right.
I mean, Louis Vuitton, Air Force Ones.
Travis Scott clips, I mean, I haven't seen something like that. Like, I'm not comparing the two, but it was like Michael Jackson-esque, people breaking the barriers and just chasing, and then he
I gotta watch it.
It was crazy.
I don't know. I mean, the internet loves Travis Scott. People love Travis Scott. I never hear a bad thing about Travis Scott. Does anyone shit on Travis Scott? He seems untouchable.
Yeah, based on the crowds, I agree.
I'm sure the people that are like, oh, he's too mainstream. I'm sure there's that crowd out there. But
yeah, he's the biggest star in the world. I mean, he's bound to be mainstream.
Right.
I definitely want to.
He doesn't get that the way that Drake does, though.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Nobody's. More people are saying that about everything that Drake has ever released than people are saying about Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis, I think, also has a mystique about him.
Yeah, it's kind of like that persona, that mysterious.
Yeah,
cool,
we don't really know Travis Scott. Even when I watched the documentary, I still didn't get to know him.
Yeah,
it was just like, okay, I get it. You're from Houston, and you worked really hard, but I don't really know anything about you.
Yeah.
Whereas Drake, we know his whole life.
Yes.
Which works too. That's the Kardashian formula. Yeah. It's great. You can make a lot of money. But I think creatively, like doing Dior collab is just a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
In fashion. It just doesn't happen. They don't work with a lot of people.
Once Virgil and Kanye broke down those barriers for a lot of people.
Yeah, they definitely did. Kanye definitely did.
Yeah.
Kanye definitely broke down the barriers for everybody, but Travis may take it to another level.
Yeah.
It's potential. He's so young still.
Kylie helps.
You got to have a Jenner Kardashian in there.
Yeah.
Devin Booker.
Devin
Booker wins the title. He might become like, he can go to stratosphere.
I'm rooting for them.
Okay. I'll root for the Clippers.
They're down 3-1.
I'm from LA. I rep LA.
But you're a diehard Lakers, right? So how are you going to go for the Clippers? They're your rivals.
He's not diehard anything.
I'm not. Yeah.
He's diehard for whoever's winning.
Yeah.
Well, then you should be diehard Suns.
When the Suns win, I'm going to post my picture with me and Chris Paul.
As he's wearing a Bucks hat.
And I got a Bucks hat. I actually think they're the ones that are going to win.
And then we need a Trae Young pick too, just in case.
Ice Trade a gang.
Yeah. I have a lot of good celebrity picks that I have on ice, depending on what they do in society.
Oh, yeah.
You have folders on your computer.
Yeah, like, Travis Scott. Okay. Post Malone. Here we go. Chris Paul. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up with some shout outs. First shout out is from Ray Hopkins, shouting out her friend Jessica Rose Sturdy. And she actually launched a brand today. So we got to go check it out and support. Apparently she has a name issue before. So she had asked for a shout out, but there was some issue with her name. Now she has a name that is good to go. So let's go check it out. It's the website is shopbowsandsequins.com. And the account on Instagram is at Side Piece by Bows. So SIDEPEACE by Bows. And congrats on your new brand. It's cool that your friend is giving you the free ad here. And it looks like it's like really cool iPhone cases that you can wear as a necklace. So it feels like a jewelry piece. So go check it out. She said she doesn't want to give a discount code yet. So go support. They're just starting out. We're all about helping people with their launch of their businesses. So check it out. And congrats on the launch. And Ray has said that she's 1,000% attending our group chat Margaritaville tour.
Great.
I have a big idea for Margaritaville.
Okay.
So I looked up their site. They have a lot of beach locations.
I like what I'm
I think
hearing.
they have like Punta Cana, all over. Imagine if we did a group chat summit at a Margaritaville in like Punta Cana.
Wow.
Write
And
the
it's like-
check, Margaritaville. I know you're listening now.
So I mean, we just need them to really just let us do it
Yeah.
and then invite everyone out there for like a weekend.
I might need like a week to be there just
Be
to
the
scope
prep.
it out,
He comes in, Tim comes in with a flowered shirt, a 4-foot margarita.
Tan as hell.
Yeah, it's great out here.
Tim and I
Tooth necklace.
Tim and I have to get there early to set up.
Yeah. And the next shout out is to Joseph Valdez, turns 22, been a Kathy since day one. He's been balancing studying for his CFP, which is Certified Financial Planner exam, as well as his Series, I think 65, Investment Company Variable Contracts Products Limited Representative License. Holy shit, Joseph. And all on top of that, learning Spanish, working full-time, and being a supportive and present husband through it all. Holy shit, man. You're 22.
Superhero.
You are a superhero.
I feel like we shouted out for Joseph's 21st birthday. He sounds very familiar.
No,
Yeah, he
shouted him
definitely...
out.
We definitely... But this is
shouted him.
unbelievable. This guy's 22 years old. He's really doing it.
Good for you, Joseph.
Kind of makes Jason look lazy.
Kind of.
This guy, what did you do this weekend? Well, this guy's studying for 2 exams.
I generated 600,000 views for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry,
Wow.
Joseph.
You guys got some
Right back.
The arrogance of Gen Z.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God. All right, guys. Well, go check out group chat news on TikTok. We are what Jack Harlow says, poppin'. See you guys all on Tuesday.
Peace.